Crowds have an important role in the history of technology as well. Before the invention of the modern university or the modern corporation, governments and societies relied on crowds to help solve tough technological problems faced by them. A marquee example of this comes from the UK. In 1707, part of the British fleet sank off the south coast of the UK due to bad navigation and bad weather, a common occurrence in the UK, as you know. The UK Parliament, faced with this naval disaster, established the Longitude Prize in 1707, where they offered £20,000 for anybody that could come up with a working solution to finding the longitude at sea. In those days, it was very difficult to find out where you were in the world. Today, with our cell phones, we can know precisely our location because there are satellites up in the air telling us where we are. Now, the interesting thing about the prize that the British Parliament set up was that they put Sir Isaac Newton as a chair of the prize committee and a principal advisor to the Parliament on this prize. And Isaac Newton felt very strongly that the only approach to solve this problem was going to be through the methods of astronomy. Now, as you know, Isaac Newton himself was a scientific giant at that time. So when he said that the only methods that mattered are ones in astronomy, he was taking a perspective heuristic approach based on his prior experience in astronomy and applying it to this problem. Regardless of what he said, there were a ton of solutions that got offered. In fact, more than 100 were proposed. Some of them were quite creative. For example, somebody proposed that we should have telepathic dogs on ships that would bray when we cross the longitude. Other people said, all we need to do is put cannon platforms at sea that would go off at certain times that would inform the ships passing by as to where the location was going to be. Again, a very practical solution to this problem. The winning solution for this ended up coming by the invention of a clock or chronometer that could actually keep track of time. Here, John Harrison, who was an unknown carpenter in Yorkshire, came up with the winning solution because he understood expansion and contraction of materials. The problem at that time was that clocks that were being made could not keep track of time once they left shore. Once you were on the ship, because of temperature change and humidity change and the motion, clocks would very quickly lose track of time. And the solution relied on the fact that once you knew the time you left at shore and the time currently you were faced with, you could, through trigonometry, come up with a proper location of the longitude. Now, what we see here again is by going to the crowd, we can get diverse perspective in heuristic pairs that can be applied to a problem. Some may be successful, some may not be successful, but that's the whole point. Here we want to generate a variety of perspective heuristic pairs to solve our problem. Other historical examples of this include designing the dome at the cathedral in Florence. That was done by Brunelleschi, who was not an architect but a goldsmith, and also the invention of food canning to feed Napoleon's armies, done so by a pharmacist. So throughout history, crowds have been an important way in which we can generate at scale diverse perspectives and heuristics to help us solve problems.